right on time for Hope TV News Watch on this 28th day of September 2022. A day where over 4 million Kenyans who have been blacklisted by CRB have breathed a great sigh of relief after President William Ruto announced that they will be removed from the CRB negative listing as from this Saturday. Now, this is just one of the many stories lined up for you here on Hope TV News Watch. You can interact with us on Twitter at HopeTV_KE. My personal handle is at Kennedy Kimani_. On the sign language interpretation tonight is Elizabeth Wanjiku. Now, President William Ruto has said that all efforts of drought coordination-related issues will be handled in the office of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua so as to ensure efficiency. Speaking at State House on Wednesday during a meeting of the Kenya Drought Humanitarian Partner Response Update, President Ruto said there is need for structured programs in coordinating efforts to contain a drought to ensure efficiency and avert duplication of duties. Moving on, it is a sigh of relief for over 4 million Kenyans who have been blacklisted by the Credit Reference Bureau for defaulting loans. As from the 1st of November, President William Ruto has announced that they will be removed from the negative listing. The announcement comes after the head of state met officials from the Treasury, Central Bank, Safaricom, Kenya Commercial Bank and NCBA on Wednesday, where he stated that the lenders have now agreed to develop a new credit as opposed to blacklisting customers, adding that he will give the listed Kenyans a fresh opportunity to access credit and put an end to exploitation from what he described as predatory lenders.
Today you have made a very positive statement on matters for Liza. First, I am very happy that between 4 and 5 million Kenyans will by beginning of November, they will be out of the blacklisting. That is very important. Very important because these 4 million Kenyans have been excluded from any formal borrowing, of blacklisting, and they have been left at the mercy of Shylocks and predatory lenders that exploit them. And many Kenyans pay as much as 1,000% for credit. The fact that they will now be out of that space is a very positive development, and I want to commit here that the government of Kenya is not against credit listing or credit bureau facilities. In fact, we support CRBs as a mechanism of instilling financial discipline in our financial sector.
At the same time, President William Ruto has called on regulatory authorities to control the online betting companies, saying that they are operating in an opaque space. Speaking during a meeting with financial institutions, President Ruto has asked the Central Bank of Kenya to moderate such institutions so that they pay their taxes.
I'm also happy, Governor, that you are bringing into the regulation space our online betting companies. Because we also want them to pay taxes. At the moment, they are operating in a space that is opaque. I know opaque has many connotations lately, and not very positive ones, but that space needs much more clarity, and I am happy that the Central Bank of Kenya is taking steps to bring the actors in the online betting space to regulation so that we can make them much more accountable, and they can also support us build this country by everybody paying their piece and paying their taxes, so that we can develop the country together.
Away from that, the exit of the Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai on Tuesday has paved way for the commencement of the recruitment exercise of his successor. However, the recruitment will only begin after the gazettement of the vacancy within 14 days. The National Police Service Commission has until the 11th of October to declare the position vacant through a gazette notice in line with Section 12 of the National Police Service Act.
Competitive recruitment exercise is expected to begin after the National Police Service (NPS) publishes the vacancy of the Office of the Inspector General. After unveiling his cabinet, President Ruto named former Nairobi County Police Commander Japheth Koome as his preferred pick to the position of the Inspector General of Police after announcing that IG Hilary Mutyambai was going on terminal leave. Currently, Koome is the commandant of the National Police Service College in Kiganjo. The commission shall gazette at least 3 people who are qualified for the advertised post within 7 days of the interviews and the names forwarded to the head of state for nomination to the position. Parliament will then be required within 14 days after it first meets to vet and examine the nominee and may either approve or reject the nomination and notify the President of its approval or rejection. If Parliament approves the nominee, the President shall appoint the nominee as Inspector General of the National Police Service by notice in the Gazette within 7 days of receiving communication to that effect.
We have the most incompetent Inspector General of Police, I think, in the world. The most incompetent in the whole world. His incompetence may not necessarily play out when things are working, but when things get to a head and you need some decisions to be made, I can tell you for sure the gentleman we have as an IG cannot make any decision.
The National Police Service (NPS) is also expected to announce a vacancy and advertise the position of the Director of Criminal Investigations, DCI George Kinoti, who handed in his resignation. Before he became president, Ruto had indicated that Kinoti will not be spared as he accused him of being used by Uhuru's administration to frustrate those opposed to his ideas.
The resignation of the Director General of CID, Mr. Kinoti, and I have transmitted the same to the National Police Service to proceed with advertising that position. And meanwhile, they should get somebody to act in the place of Mr. Kinoti.
Grace Angoi for OpTV News Watch.
Thank you so much, Grace, for that report. Now, Kilifi MPs have vowed to protect the CDF system and ensure that the money continues to be provided by the National Treasury. Members of Parliament from Kilifi County, led by Kololeni Legislator Paul Katana, Ganze MP Kenneth Kazungu and Malindi MP Amina Mnyazi have criticized critics of the CDF, saying they have no intention of improving education in the grassroots by defaming the fund.
Kama unataka elimu, mfumo wa elimu wa Kenya hii usambaratike, jaribu kutoa CDF, manake kuanzia kesho watoto hatakuwa na nafasi ya kwenda shule. Na sisi kama wabunge wa kitaifa tumesema licha ya kuwa tuna mirengo yetu tofauti, safari hii tumeungana pamoja na ni lazima, si eti tunaomba, ni lazima CDF iregeshwe ili watoto wetu waweze kwenda shule na majengo yaweze kuendelea.
Kama ni kwenda kujitetea sisi wabunge, tutakwenda kujitetea ndani ya bunge la kitaifa, tuhakikishe kwamba NG-CDF imerudishwa katika mamlaka yetu ili tuweze kusaidia watu wetu. Ndivyo ama sivyo hivyo? Walikuwa wanasema, na mimi ripoti ya NG-CDF nimeiangalia vizuri sana. Tumetumia 56 billion shillings ambao zimekwenda katika NG-CDF, si Malindi peke yake. Mimi nazungumza kuhusu Kenya nzima. Lakini kwa hizi pesa pia kulingana na ile ripoti ni watoto milioni 6 wenye ambao wameweza kunufaika na NG-CDF basari zenye ambazo zinatoanishwa na mbunge. Mimi nataka niseme hivi. Mtu wa kwanza ambao nyinyi mnamwendea mkiwa na shida zenu ni mambo. Mtu wa pili ambao mnamfikia kwa urahisi ni mbunge. Kitambo tufike kwa governor. Ndivyo ama sivyo hivyo? Kwa nini hizi pesa ziondolewe katika mamlaka ya mbunge?
Tumehakikishiwa na viongozi ikiwemo Mheshimiwa Rais mwenyewe, nafikiri tulikuwa naye kwa mkutano kule Nairobi, na yeye pia akasema CDF itakuwa, kwa sababu yeye pia anatambua ule muhimu ambao hii CDF iko nayo, na anatambua vile CDF imeweza kusaidia kuleta maendeleo kule mashinani.
It is exactly 10 minutes past 9 p.m. Time for a quick breather here on Hope TV News Watch. I'll be back with more news. See you after this short break.
Hope TV is now available on GoTV Channel 103, Zuku Channel 873, Signet Channel 817 and StarTimes Channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV, you look and live.
You know we can't forget them. And neither can you. Enjoy all-time classics every Thursday at 11 a.m.
Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching Hope TV News Watch. Now, Mombasa Law Court has set the date for the commencement of the hearing of election petitions. Mombasa Chief Magistrate Martha Mutuku has directed the hearing of the petition to begin with a pre-trial conference next week, that is on the 3rd of October. One of the petitioners include former Bamburi MCA candidate Etole John Akaran, who wants Mbele's election to be declared null and void to pave way for a fresh election in the ward.
We have filed our petition. We have certainly progressed. The court has issued directions, and the directives are such that we would need to do with the issue to do with the discoveries and all that pertains to progress the issue forward. So we will be coming back to court on the 3rd of October this year. We hope that the court will take into consideration that the election of the member of County Assembly for Bamburi Ward was marred with malpractices. It was certainly not an issue that befits what you'd call an election exercise that was conducted, especially by the officials from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
Upande wangu mimi nilipokuwa nimeamua kufile petition, ninatangazia serikali yetu ya Kenya kwamba nimekuwa na vitisho. Nimekuwa nikipigiwa masimu na County Assembly Speaker akiwa wananilazimisha ni withdraw kesi, na pia nikapigiwa simu mpaka na huyo returning officer wa Bamburi ambaye wa Kisauni ambaye ni Ibrahim Wario, pia yeye akawa vile vile, na siwezi kujua ni kwa nini wananipigia simu ni withdraw kesi kama waliweza kufanya uchaguzi kwa hali iliyo sawa. Kile ambacho naomba ni kwamba maisha yangu sasa iko hatarini, na naomba serikali iweze kuniwekea ulinzi, kwa sababu sisi kile ambacho tunaomba ni rais wetu na serikali yetu ya Kenya ituangalie vizuri. Aswa kwanza mimi ninajua maisha yangu iko hatarini. Niko mpaka na recordings za huyo county speaker, na niko na recordings ambaye nimerekodi pia huyo Ibrahim Wario, na niko na recording pia ya audio recording pia ya huyo Patrick Mavula. Wote wananipigia simu wakiniambia ni withdraw kesi, na siwezi jua ni kwa sababu gani. Kama kitu ingekuwa walipita kihalali, walimpitisha kihalali ama alichaguliwa kihalali, kwa nini wananipigia simu kuniambia ni withdraw kesi?
Moving on, the Kenya National Union of Nurses has asked the Council of Governors and the Ministry of Health to resolve the series of strikes witnessed in the country. Speaking in Eldoret during the signing of a memorandum of understanding for the nurses at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, the General Secretary of the Union, Seth Panyako, said there is need for such cooperation to improve the service and performance of the nurses in the country.
This CBA, as it has been negotiated and agreed, if implemented in full implementation, we'll see our nurses continue to deliver their services without fear or without having any worries about what will happen to them, because this CBA has drastically improved their terms and conditions of service. And Waikuru, to also borrow leave from the management of MTRH, so that the conflict in health sector can be resolved once and for all. This country is for all of us. We don't have to chest a thumb. We don't have to say we have the powers, we can abuse them. What we want is to serve the people of Kenya. And the president has come here and he has changed the perception in the leadership.
The contribution of this union to the management of affairs in MTRH in a very diplomatic and cordial way cannot be overstated. It is huge. And we really appreciate from the national leadership and the branch leadership, the MTRH branch leadership, they have done a commendable job.
Moving on, in Embu County, Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji has put local contractors on notice of a shoddy work. The MP who spoke during an inspection tour of the ongoing roads construction works project in Manyata constituency said some local contractors are fond of delivering shoddy works, adding that they will face the law.
As I support the local contractors, and I say that they should be given more jobs so that the money remain here, not money going to China. I also tell the few contractors that are poor in their work and wakora wa kawaida that let them not mess the name of the good contractors. And any contractor that is given a job and does not do a good job, we will definitely chase him away. And he will never do any other job. And I will ensure he is chased away fully, never to do any other job that involves this government that I'm serving of the day.
Now, the year 2026 has been declared the year of rangelands and pastoralists by the United Nations. In preparation for this, a series of consultations with pastoralist youth across the world will take place over the next 3 years to develop a vision for pastoralism in the face of climate change. Now, different organizations in Africa are holding a 3-day conference at Lukenya University in Makueni County to equip stakeholders with climate change mitigation strategies.
The year 2026 has been declared International Year of Rangeland and Pastoralism by United Nations. So we are here in making that policy as youth. So today we have a representative from East African region, from Ethiopia, from Tanzania, and for Kenya. And each and every communities, the pastoral communities, they are adequately represented to give their views, to give the opportunities that exist for young people in this field of pastoralism, so that we can be able also to make use of our rangeland management system.
Agriculture is the mainstay of this country. Livestock production is a major entity covering 25% of the GDP. And pastoralism is the largest part of livestock. 70% of livestock population in this country come from pastoral areas. And therefore, the high demand for animal protein in the cities are coming, the livestock is coming from the Rift Valley, Northeastern, and the Coast Province. These areas are having climate problems, drought problems, and this is why the global partners and the government and the university are partnering to ensure that livestock production and pastoralism is given strength.
Environment we are in services a number of pastoralists, especially those from Mandera, from Kajiado. They normally come to graze here when climate has changed from their place, and then you will get that it's completely dry. So the best place they run to is to our institution. Now the main value we expect out of this is that the youths come to a resolution which avoid conflicts between the farmers, because farmers come in agriculture, and again between the place where the animals can feed on.
Thank you very much indeed. We just had success stories from some of the pastoralists that are developing applications which actually going to inform the smallholder farmer on the best crop or the best practice to carry on, especially looking at climate smart agriculture, talk of triple wins, mitigation, adaptation, and improving food productivity of the smallholder farmer. We have come to a point where we look at ICT for agriculture. COVID has taught us that when you have the ICT intelligence, you can actually move forward and actually build.
From Makueni to the county of Mombasa. Now, the National Authority of the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, has rolled out a program targeting religious leaders to be involved in the fight against drug abuse. NACADA held a forum in Mombasa where religious leaders drawn from the 6 sub-counties in Mombasa underwent a sensitization forum on the adverse effects of abusing drugs.
Ukiangalia wanaoathirika wengi ni watoto wa jamii yetu. Na tukaona tumejibidisha, tunaenda mashule kufundisha, tunaenda kwa jamii, lakini tukaona kiungo muhimu ni kuwashika hawa viongozi wa dini, kwa sababu wao wako misikitini, wao ni wazazi, na wanaokwenda kuswali ni wazazi na vijana pia pale. Kwa hivyo tukaona ni muhimu tuwaelimishe wao, wakitoka hapa wakenda na wao wajue watangaza nini kule chini mashinani.
Mwanzo lengo kubwa la kuhusisha viongozi wa kidini ni kwamba uoga mwanzo tunaamini sana na mambo ya kuzuia, prevention. Kwa sababu hatutaki sasa tungojee paka tatizo limefika, paka limefika ile kiwango cha paka tupeleke watu kwa rehab. Lakini hawa watacheza wana bigger role ya kufanya upande wa prevention. Kwa sababu kama tungekuwa tunashikana mkono tangu kitambo kuzuia vijana wetu wasianze katika kujiingiza katika hii madarati, basi hata ile idadi sasa ingekuwa labda iko chini. Kwa sababu tukiangalia Mombasa County, tatizo kubwa tulilonalo sana hapa ni utumiaji hizi tunaita hard drugs, kina heroin. Hizo ndio tatizo kubwa sana ambazo sasa ukilinganisha na county zote, basi Mombasa County iko mbele katika utumiaji wa heroin.
Naomba viongozi wenzangu wa kidini na viongozi wenzangu ambao hawako hapa tuweze kulichukulia umuhimu sana, kwa sababu ni swala ambalo kwamba limeathiri jamii ya Kipwani. Japo limeathiri Kenya nzima, lakini Pwani limeathiri zaidi. Pili, pia ningeomba serikali kwamba wale ambao kwamba ni law enforcers waweze kuchukua majukumu yao kama vile NACADA wanavyochukua, kwa sababu kila mmoja ana part yake ya kufanya. Wale ambao kwamba ni polisi wana regulate zile laws, basi nao wafanye shughuli zao, maana kuna wale ambao ni corrupt police wanakwenda kule kwenye madawa kulevya, badala kuwashika wanachukua kitu na wanaendeleza ule uuzaji.
Crossing borders, Cuba is completely without power after Hurricane Ian hit the western end of the island. The electrical system is experiencing total collapse after one of the main power plants could not be brought back online. 2 people have so far been reported dead and buildings damaged nationwide. The category 3 hurricane, packing wind speeds of up to 195 kilometers per hour, is now bearing down on Florida.
Only God can turn a mess into a message.
I have a boy on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm still preaching on the pulpit.
Amen.
Niliona mguu ya nyuma inakuja tu kunikanyaga, imenilenga tu kwa tumbo. Nikaitana tu Jesus.
I got tired of working with the x-ray papers, and one day I just woke up and decided to burn them.
A test into a testimony.
The whole community didn't want to hear that anybody is born again. Excommunicated straight.
Bila Yesu hakuna njia.
Join Sharon Naitore Wangenye on Testify.
Katika hiyo harakati hiyo spirit ikakemewa, mimi nimeona Yesu Kristo namna hii. Kwa msalaba. Opa. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. for a moment to grow your faith some more.
And now let's get down to business. Safaricom has announced a new discounted tariff of up to 40% on Fuliza loans below 1,000 shillings, which will take effect from the 1st of October, that is on Saturday. In the new announcement, Safaricom customers will also get a 3-day grace period before beginning to repay their loans. Fuliza overdraft facility, which was launched in 2019, enables M-Pesa users to complete transactions when they have insufficient funds in their M-Pesa account.
Beginning 1st of October, together with our partners NCBA and KCB, we are further building on our Fuliza partnership to empower more Kenyans with even more affordable access to credit. All customers will enjoy Fuliza free of the daily maintenance fee for transactions below 1,000 and below 3 days. So for the first 3 days, they won't have to pay any daily maintenance fee, which they pay today. This affects 80% of the current Fuliza transactions, enabling us to further achieve Fuliza's true goal of empowering customers to complete transactions in case of insufficient funds. The 3-day free daily maintenance fee period will allow customers who currently use Fuliza to complete more transactions while attracting more customers to the solution since it's more affordable. In addition, we are reducing the daily maintenance fee by 50% for Fuliza transactions of 1,000 and below. Customers will also enjoy reductions in daily maintenance fee for transactions above 1,000 up to a maximum of 70,000. We will maintain the Fuliza access fee at the current 1% across all transactions, including those of 1,000 and below.
My director, James Ndiku, is a happy man after that story. Anyway, moving forward, the Capital Markets Authority and the Kenya Development Corporation have signed a memorandum of understanding to promote greater utilization of the capital markets through structured financial products by corporates, including SMEs. The MOU establishes a partnership through which joint efforts in education, awareness creation, and stakeholder engagements will be executed to improve knowledge levels and uptake of financial products and services. And to some sporting action, Kenya's Malkia Strikers have won their first match at the Volleyball World Championships in Netherlands after thrashing rivals Cameroon in 3 straight sets with a scoreline of 25-20, 27-25 and 25-19. The win takes Kenya's tally to 3 points and leaves them with a realistic chance of qualifying for the second round for the first time in history. That is if they beat Italy and Puerto Rico in the remaining games. And finally, Kenya Police FC has booked a spot at the elite pre-season semi-finals after edging out National Super League side MCF 5-1 in a match staged at the Kasarani Annex on Tuesday afternoon. Kenya Police now join Nairobi City Stars, Kariobangi Sharks and Bidco United in the last 4. The winner of the tournament will be rewarded 1 million Kenya shillings. And with that, we come to the tail end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for watching Hope TV News Watch. From the stellar crew that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a good night. Kennedy Kimani is my name, and at the bottom right of your screen has been the very able sign language interpreter, Elizabeth Wanjiku.